17 Muslim nations, nations with diverse histories, cultures, and rivalries, have now spoken with one voice. Today, they declare that the violence of Hamas is not in their name, not in the name of Islam, and not in the name of the future they want for their people. This is not a small diplomatic gesture. This is a seismic shift in the political landscape of the Middle East. For decades, divisions have made united action rare. But the horror of indiscriminate attacks, the suffering of civilians, and the destabilization of the region have pushed these nations to act together. This unity sends a message far beyond the borders of the Middle East, that political legitimacy comes from protecting lives, not destroying them. 17 voices, one message. Extremism will no longer dictate the destiny of Muslim nations. This is not just a condemnation. It is a call to chart a new path where sovereignty, security, and dignity are preserved through cooperation, not chaos. Today's alliance is not just against something. It is for something: stability, prosperity, and peace grounded in justice. The world is watching, and history will remember whether this unity becomes a turning point or just a fleeting headline. The responsibility now lies in turning this declaration into decisive, sustained action. The coming together of 17 Muslim nations marks an extraordinary and rare moment in modern Middle Eastern politics. These are countries with different economic strengths, political systems, and even long-standing disputes. Yet they have chosen to set those differences aside in the face of a shared moral and strategic challenge. This unity is not symbolic. It reflects a conscious decision to act collectively on an issue that has historically divided them. For decades, responses to armed groups like Hamas have varied widely across the region, often influenced by political alliances, ideological leanings, or local pressures. Now, however, there is a clear, coordinated voice rejecting actions that bring instability and civilian suffering. It demonstrates that the region's leadership recognizes the costs of fragmentation and the benefits of presenting a united front in shaping both regional security and the global perception of the Muslim world. This alliance signals that these nations are willing to redefine what solidarity means, choosing peace and stability over the politics of perpetual conflict. By standing together to denounce Hamas's attacks, these 17 nations are sending a message that reaches far beyond politics. It is a moral statement rooted in the core principles of Islam and the universal values of human dignity. They are making it clear that violence targeting civilians, regardless of political grievances, cannot be justified under any religious or ethical framework. This stance challenges the narrative that extremist actions can claim legitimacy through faith, and it affirms that Islam is a religion of compassion, justice, and the protection of innocent life. It also places the responsibility on governments to align their policies with these values, reinforcing that political authority must be exercised in a way that upholds humanity rather than erodes it. By articulating this position collectively, these nations are working to reclaim the moral high ground, showing both their own citizens and the wider world that the future of the Muslim world cannot and will not be built on the blood of innocents. This collective stance marks a profound transformation in the region's political landscape, signaling that old patterns of rivalry and fragmented responses are giving way to a more coordinated approach. For decades, the Middle East has often been defined by competing blocs, shifting alliances, and deep divisions that hindered unified action on major crises. Now, with 17 Muslim nations aligning their position against Hamas's attacks, a new precedent is being set, one where cooperation is valued over competition, and where shared security concerns override ideological differences. This shift has the potential to reshape diplomatic relationships, foster greater trust among regional actors, and present a stronger, more consistent voice in international affairs. It also demonstrates to the wider world that the Middle East is capable of collective agency, not merely as a reaction to external pressures, but as a proactive choice to influence its own destiny. In essence, it's a signal that unity, when rooted in mutual interest and moral clarity, can become a defining force in the region's future. The decision of these 17 nations to act together reflects a broader ambition that goes beyond addressing the immediate violence. It is about laying the foundation for a future where the region can prioritize stability, economic growth, and long-term development over cycles of conflict. By shifting the focus from reactive measures to proactive peace-building, these countries are acknowledging that lasting security is inseparable from prosperity and social progress. This approach means investing in infrastructure, education, and cross-border trade, while creating conditions that reduce the appeal of extremist ideologies. It also signals an understanding that political stability and economic opportunity must work hand in hand to ensure that peace is not just declared, but sustained. Such a strategy has the potential to transform the image of the Muslim world from a region plagued by unrest to one that is driving innovation, cooperation, and shared prosperity for its people. This united declaration is only the first step. Its true value will be measured by the actions that follow. Condemnation without implementation risks becoming little more than a symbolic gesture. The responsibility now lies in translating words into tangible outcomes. Coordinated diplomatic pressure, robust security measures to prevent further violence, and comprehensive humanitarian aid to support affected civilians. It requires sustained collaboration, not just in times of crisis, but as a long-term commitment to regional stability. That means building mechanisms for conflict resolution, strengthening intelligence sharing networks, and ensuring that reconstruction and peace efforts are inclusive and transparent. By following through, these nations can prove that their unity is not temporary or reactionary, but a lasting force for change, capable of protecting both their citizens and the principles they stand for. 17 nations have spoken, but the world is listening for what comes next. History will not remember the words we say today as much as the deeds we carry out tomorrow. If this unity holds, if it transforms into action, then future generations will look back on this moment not as the day we condemned violence, but as the day we